Hi, hello, 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 hello. Good evening, peoples. It is Fearless Friday. Fearless Friday indeed. What do you think about that, peoples? Fearless Friday indeed. Oh, yes. Good times. It's good times indeed. So how is everybody doing this one? Oh, I gotta hit this button over here. So happy Fearless Friday, and tonight we're supposed to be talking about the standards. Our standards. It's Fearless Friday, you know, and we're supposed to be talking about our standards. And your standards speak before you do. And some people question what that actually means. I mean, what does our standards mean? Our standards is basically when we talk about what's important to us. It's our morals. It's our foundation. And I added this little gift thing down here at the bottom. Only TikTokers get to see it. So all you Facebookers and Instagrammers and YouTubers and Spotifyers and all of those people don't get to see it, but only TikTokers get to see this. So if you guys actually love the show and try and want to promote us, go ahead and send me one of them happy little wow thingies that are down there. If I get 10 of them, I'll give a big huge shout out to whoever the 10th one is. So every 10th one, I'll shout out to somebody. But anyways, but yeah, your standards speak before you do, because I want to stress that something simple but yet powerful is everywhere you go, no matter what, somebody is listening to you. And you don't have to be a speaker to this. It's just common, normal human nature. Somebody's listening to you, whether it's your neighbors, whether it's your kids, whether it's your parents, whether it's your coworkers, whether it's your employees. Before you shake their hands, before you do anything, they're going to be there listening to what you have to say. And if you're one of those people that try and push, do as I say and not as I do, well, then there are going to be issues. They're not going to try and follow you. Because see, your posture speaks, your energy speaks, your consistency speaks, your habits speak. See, some time ago I talked about this one employee that actually had a fire because he was work impaired. All right. Him and I didn't quite get along on the idea of quality work. Back when we used to sell chips on eBay, when we were eBay power sellers, when I had the internet cafe. Hey, Alicia, when I had the internet cafe, we were eBay power sellers. All right. And we'd average sending out probably about, 100, 200 cases of chips a week. All right. And we'd call it the eBay day. It was just strictly Fridays because we'd go to Chicago, get a box truck, and come back with a box truck filled with chips. And that was our supply run for the weekend for the cafe. And we'd spend all day shipping out, or all day Saturday shipping out all the product that we sold on eBay. And it was a kind of a fluke because one weekend we this is before we became eBay power sellers. We we bought too many cases of chili cheese Fritos. All right. We bought too many cases, and I joked with one of my employees that, well, we got an extra case, throw it on eBay. Because we were eBaying stuff for people back then anyways, and we were nowhere near an eBay power seller, but it was one of those things I joked about. I'm like, hey, throw it on eBay. Why not? What the heck? Well, he did. And it sold overnight for a god stupid price. We made 150% profit on that box. I remember joking about it. I'm like, dude, that's like 3 times more than we paid for it. And that didn't even include the shipping costs. And well, it's like, psh, light bulb, as the nefarious Gru says, light bulb. And so we threw them on there again. And we threw a bunch of other chips on there. And so By Friday the next week, when we placed our order, we actually had a good 30 something extra cases to order to ship out. Whoa, cool. Let's do this. So we ended up hiring another person to try and just throw a bunch of throw a bunch of snacks on eBay. And I want to say in less than 2 months we were eBay power sellers. Or we were in contention to be eBay power sellers. It wasn't we didn't reach eBay power sellers till like 6 months later when you hold that title multiple months in a row. And we ended up going to blue and then red and then I think it was silver and I forgot the next one was gold and then there's platinum power sellers. I mean we got up there. We were averaging good $20,000-$30,000 a month in sales on chips on eBay. Yes, on chili cheese Fritos on eBay. Wow. But this is all before Amazon started selling chips, and we didn't think about that. I was just like all happy about it. Well, Amazon started selling chips on eBay, and everybody, it just, and then prices of shipping went up, and you know what? Let's get out of it before it gets worse. And now it's really not cost effective to ship. I mean, you'll make maybe about $2-3 to ship a case of chips on Amazon or eBay or whatever like that. So it's just not worth it. But long story short, hey Beth. Long story short, one of the employees I had hired for this project was he was stacking the boxes. We brought the boxes in on these carts, and he's just taking the boxes and throwing them in a corner. And not really caring how he's throwing them. He's just throwing them in there any old way, whatever. Just taking them and throwing them. And I'm kind of like freaking out, like, dude, you're breaking all the chips. What do you think UPS is going to do? Well, yeah, that's UPS. It's not me. We're putting our name on it. Once it's in UPS's hands, that's their problem, not mine. Well, they'll never know, but I'll know. But I'm not you. No, but you're working for me. See, your standards speak before you do. And if you're going to try to do a half-assed job throwing boxes in a corner, I really wonder where that line falls in doing a half-assed job stacking boxes in a corner or answering the phones talking to my clients. Ah, see? Because your standards speak before you do. If you're going to do a crap job on something as simple as throwing boxes, what makes you think that somebody's going to think you're going to do a great job answering phones if they're sitting there watching you doing a crappy job stacking boxes? So you got to have standards that go all the way from stacking boxes all the way to answering phones. And like I said, I'm the evil capitalist for firing the work impaired that couldn't stack boxes in a good way. So your posture speaks, your energy speaks, your consistency speaks, your discipline speaks, your habits speak, your preparation speaks. And you're not a speaker. This is just wherever you're at, whether you're dealing with your employees, whether you're dealing with your kids, whether you're dealing with your neighbors, whether you're dealing with your coworkers, whether you're dealing with your students. Oh, excuse me. Because people don't meet you first, they meet the results of your standards first. Let me say that in English for those of you with the English impaired abilities. People don't meet you first. They meet the results of your standards first, which means they see how you act before they actually get to meet who you are. They see how you act before they get to see your true identity. Because you don't rise to the level of your goals You rise to the level of your standards. And your standards are your habits, the things that you do on a daily basis. And I hate preaching about habits, but it's true. It's a daily thing. We all have daily habits. We all get up in the morning, go to the bathroom. We all get up in the morning, scratch our backs, scratch our butts, pick our nose, whatever we do. We all do that. But the point is, though, is do we do it in public or not? Point is, though, is do we try and do it before we try and go to work, or do we do it in the privacy of our own home? Do we do it in a standard point where we try and focus on our other goals? Do we get up and try and focus on drinking a heavily sugared coffee, or do we get up and drink water? Do we get up and read something positive, motivational that helps program our mind, get us ready for the day, or do we get up and right away read something that's going to negatively affect us and put us in one of them yuck moods? Read about the Canadian wildfires where thousands of acres are burning and dying and animals are fleeing for their lives. And meanwhile, half the northern part of the United States, people with asthma are suffering continuously. Asthma, suffering, horrendous day. I thank God for the rain that we had today. I could actually see the moon and the stars. That rain knocked all that particulate crap out of the air. Now, if only my lungs will clear out from all the whatever. I'm tired of shaking from the albuterol or the heart palpitations or whatever like that. Oh man, I hate that stuff. But see, we all have those habits. We all have the things that we try and do that people notice. And the funny thing is that people think that standards are rules. They're not. Standards are not preferences either. And they're not wishes. They're the non-negotiables that we have that define who we are. Those are the daily discipline items that we have, the personal boundaries, the things that we refuse to tolerate. The things that we execute, that we finish, the things that we commit to, our identity. Because those standards are who we are. Those standards are what help our future become our future. Excuse me. See, those standards are the invisible architecture of your life. They're the invisible curbs that you call it. If you want to have a technical name for it, a $5 word curb. Four letter word for $5 word, right? Four letter word for $5 word. Yeah, curb. They're like a guideline. You don't drive down the street and just go. Well, some of us do, but most of us follow the lines. Most of us stay in the lines. We don't go over the yellow dotted line, unless of course we're passing somebody, and we sure as heck don't go over the curb that's over here because we'll pinch our tires, ruin our tires, or God forbid hit somebody. So we don't go this way. So we stay inside that guideline. Why? Because that's how we structure our lives. And that's no different than what we do with our lives. We drive down the road on the right hand side of the road because, well, that's a safe spot. Because everybody else is driving on the left side coming at us. It's called standards, so that we can operate in a social environment. So that we don't kill people. So we don't destroy our cars or our vehicles or whatever like this. We travel on this side of the road so that we can get from point A to point B safely. Standards. And that's how our life is. We have standards for our life. Those daily disciplines, the things that we do even when we don't feel like it. I mean, don't take this wrong way. We all still take showers when we don't feel like it. We all still get up and make food for ourselves when we don't feel like it. We all still get up and go to work when we don't feel like it. We all still get up and take care of our kids when we don't feel like it. Or our puppies, or our cats, or our animals, or God knows what else creatures we have. We all still do things when we don't feel like it. And that's it called discipline. So why can't we try and focus on disciplining the good things in our life to focus on our future? Instead of taking care of somebody else, we actually take care of ourselves. Take 5 minutes out and read something positive first thing in the morning. Take 5 minutes out and go for a walk around the block, or jump on a trampoline, or go on a treadmill. Take 5 minutes out, drink some water in the morning, first thing in the morning, as opposed to trying that sugary coffee beverage from Funkin' Donuts or whatever it's called. Because that's our daily discipline. Where our personal boundaries are what we refuse to tolerate. People taking advantage of us. You know, I fired 3 clients this year. Yeah, I fired 3 clients. How do you fire a client? Well, you tell them I'm not working for you anymore. Simple enough. They owe me money. One owes me $60-something thousand. The other one owes me $17,000. The other one doesn't owe me a dime. Well, he owes me a couple thousand, but but I fired him. And I'm actually debating on whether to go after him or not, because do I really want to deal with that BS? That's the question. Do I really want to deal with it, or do I just write it off and take the loss? Because I don't want to tolerate their level of stupidity. I don't want to tolerate their level of idiocracy. I don't want to tolerate their level of annoyances. I don't want to tolerate their level of what's the word I want to use? Tolerate their level of manipulation. And we all have a lot of people in our life that we really don't want to try and do. Because something I was reading about earlier today is when we tolerate people that are time wasters. I'm going to be honest on this one here. I love a lot of people, but when we tolerate people that that distract us from our mission, they're actually taking away our future and their future as well. When we tolerate people in our life that that don't respect our dreams and our goals, when we tolerate them, it's the same thing as letting somebody come up and take the money out of our wallet and stealing our money. I kid you not. I would rather have somebody come and take my wallet and take all the money out of my wallet. Take all the money out of my wallet instead of taking my dreams away. Because you know what? This is temporary. I can make more money. Dreams, on the other hand, dreams are different. If somebody comes along and you have to tolerate somebody who's going to try and steal your dreams, get them out of your life. Give them your wallet. Let them take your money. Here, just go. See you later. And you know what? That's how some of those clients are that I had to fire. Just go. Here's my wallet. Here's my money. Just go. Because that money is not going to take you far. You can always make more money. The dreams, they'll take you forever. And sometimes you have to set those personal boundaries and get rid of those time wasters. Get rid of those people that just don't respect your time, that don't respect your dreams, that don't respect your energy. Another thing is your execution habits. I've been accused. I'll admit, I'm guilty. I thank you for joining us for Guilty Anonymous. My name's Obet. I'm guilty of execution habits. I'll start things. I'll start like 8 different projects at once, and I'll either fall to the wayside and only get 2 or 3 of them done, or I'll start 8 more, and I'll keep procrastinating on them until finally they all blow up, and either they crumble or they all turn into a massive, fireworks show. And I win. Usually it's a fireworks show, but sometimes they fail. My counselor that I saw years ago, she told me that's that's an OCD. What? What's an OCD? Optical character device? I mean, I'm technical savvy, so OCD, optical character device, is what I thought it was. No. An OCD is I forget what she said it was. Oh God, come on, people, help me here. What does OCD stand for? Anybody? Anybody at all? 6 platforms, and not a single one of you can tell me what OCD stands for? Bueller? Jesus Christ, fine. AI. Hey, Rye. Hey, Rye. What does OCD stand for? Hey, Rye. What does OCD stand for?
Let me check.
All right. So we got Rye checking it out. Oh, wait. Hey, we finally got somebody. 6 platforms. We finally got somebody to say something. OCD, obsessing compulsive disorder. Thank you, Beth. Thank you. All right. Yeah. So my counselor said I have obsessive compulsive disorder. And here I'm thinking optical character device. I'm like, optical character device? What the heck is an optical character device? What, I get to try and scan my notes into my brain now? I'm just gonna feed it in there. Get in there. I mean, anyways. Now she says that it's more or less.
Final answer: OCD stands for obsessive compulsive disorder, a mental health condition characterized by persistent, unwanted thoughts or urges, obsessions, and repetitive behaviors or actions compulsions. You can find more information on this topic at the following URLs. 1. Wikipedia https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/obsessive compulsive disorder https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/obsessive compulsive disorder. 2. About OCD. About obsessive compulsive disorder OCD https://ioctave.org/about OCD/. 3. Cleveland Clinic Health Diseases 9490 obsessive compulsive disorder https://my.clevelandclinic.org/health/diseases/9490 OCD obsessive compulsive disorder. 4. Harvard Health OCD literature. What is obsessive compulsive disorder OCD https://www.health.harvard.edu/mind and mood/obsessive compulsive disorder /5. Mayo Clinic obsessive compulsive disorder symptoms, causes, and more https://www.mayoclinic.org/
diseases, conditions.
All right, that's enough of her. I just got my alert saying that it picked up my speaker from Ray talking.
6. Merriam-Webster
So yeah.
Dictionary. OCD. https://www.merriam-webster.com com
Yeah,
slash
something
dictionary
else.
slash OC.
I
7.
asked
Psychology
my
organ. What is
AI
obsessive compulsive disorder
to
OCD?
explain
https
what
colon slash slash
OCD is, and she told
www.psychiatry.org
me
slash
a
patients
long
families
story.
slash obsessive compulsive disorder slash
It's
what is
an
obsessive compulsive
AI
disorder slash
and
8.
over
Simply
with.
psychology OCD https colon slash slash
Okay, dokie, Smokey. All right. Anyway, so now that I
www.suepsychology.org
submitted my
slash
appeal on that one there,
OCD doc
is she still
HTML.
talking? No. Okay. All right. Good. She shut up. Sorry about that. All right. So anyway, so yeah, my counselor said that I've got an OCD, that I like having multiple projects at once going on because I like the euphoric feeling of all of them coming together at once, being a big grand finale. Sort of like mountain climbing. She's like, you're like a mountain climber. Why do people climb mountains? Because it's a euphoric feeling reaching the top. Except that yours isn't as dangerous. You're not going to die. And she's like, well, actually, no. When I joked about I'm not going to die from me building businesses, she's like, well, actually, you could because of the stress. Yeah, okay. Well, anyways, from what she said, though, I've got an OCD with the idea of wanting to build things and then try and make them bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually they try and turn into a big, huge cluster that's going to explode and be amazing. And when it doesn't, I get really, really depressed and go. So yeah, that's what OCD is for me. I'm not an optical character device, so I'm not going to be able to just stick stuff in my head. So it doesn't work like that. So and so that's where I fail, is my execution habits. Is sometimes my execution habits take longer than anticipated, longer than I joked about, longer than I planned for, unfortunately. And so some of you have those habits too. And eventually, the other standard that you got to focus on is your identity commitments. Who do you insist on that you are? I actually knew a long time ago when I was a pastor, when I was younger. All right. Yeah, we won't go down that road too much, but I remember being a pastor. And one of the reasons why I'm not a good pastor is because of the fact that um, we had a person, I had a person come to me and talk to me about how she really loved the sermon, loved this and loved that, blah, 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 blah. And she always wanted to try and get in front and sing in front of the whole crowd. And she had a real lovely voice and sing in church. And I thought it was great. I thought, you should do it. You should do it. Oh, no, I could never do that. And she was an older woman. I mean, she probably 70s at this time. She's dead and gone now. I mean, God bless her. Yeah. I mean, I was in my 20s at this time, and she was in her 70s then. So yeah, she's. What do you want? Anyway, so incoming cat. And so, anyways, she's like, oh no, I could never do that. I'm too shy. I'm like, well, do you plan on dying shy? It probably wasn't the best thing to say because I'm like, are you planning on dying shy? I'm like, you're in your 70s. Are you ever going to try and do something different? This is your moment. You're in your 70s. You're wanting to try to sing in front of the congregation. You got such a beautiful voice. Why are you limiting your voice? It's because I'm too scared. You can do it through Christ gives me strength. Well, needless to say, I never saw her again after that, unfortunately. So I don't know if she ever sang or not, unfortunately. I can only pray. But,
Daddy?
what?
So in the nail clipper, this is caught in here. Can you see if you can fix it?
And I know I'm at my live time because not only are my four-legged kids coming, now the two-legged kids are coming at me. So yeah, fixed.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, so yeah, your identity commitments. Are you going to die shy? Are you going to die the way you are? Or do you want to try and make a change in your life? Do you want to do something different? Do you want to try and go out of this planet, go on to the next life, or go on to the next season of your life being different, doing something different? Did you know that most people on their deathbed, when they're old and on their deathbed, they regret the things that they wanted to do but never did? Because they were too afraid. The richest place on this planet, the cemetery, filled with books that were never written, songs that were never sang, inventions that were never invented because somebody was too afraid to bring it out and try. Medals, records, events, speakers, all people that went to the grave with their dreams inside their head that they never bothered pulling out because they were too afraid to try. So you have to focus on your identity commitment. Who are you? Who will you be? Because see, your standards are the invisible architecture of your life. They're the framework for who you are, your daily discipline, your personal boundaries, your executional habits, and your identity. Because see, most people have big goals. Most people want that beautiful house. Most people want that new car. Most people want that promotion at that job. Most people want to run their own business. Most people want that relationship. Most people want that breakthrough opportunity. But their standards are too small. Their work ethic doesn't match the position that they want for the promotion. Their communication levels doesn't match the relationship commitment that they need. Their consistency doesn't match the breakthrough that they want so badly. And so that gap is between their goals and their standards. And that's where their frustration lives. That's why people suffer from depression. That's why people suffer from anxiety. That's why people have that gap in their life between their goals and their standards. Good night, bud. Love you. Because if you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever felt overlooked, if you've ever felt like you're never doing enough, but you're not seeing results, it's not because of your potential. It's not because of your talent. It's not because of your destiny. It's because of your standards. It's because of your habits. It's because of your daily discipline. It's because of your personal boundaries, your execution habits, your identity. And those are your bare minimums that you have to have. They might keep you alive, but if you don't move forward, those standards are just survival mode. It's time to stop surviving and start rising. Because when you start making bigger standards for yourself, your expectations rise. When you elevate those standards, that elevation separates the leaders from the followers. You're done being a follower. It's time to be a leader. And those standards are what build your legacy. Those standards are what build that legacy that you can pass on to your children. Those standards are what builds that legacy you can try and show off to your coworkers, your neighbors, your family, your friends, the people sitting across from you on a bus. Your elevator standards, you need to say it in the morning, every morning before you go to work in the morning. You try to say, hey, I don't do this because someone is watching. I do this because it's who I am. because it's your consistency. It's your preparation. It's your follow through. It's your self-respect that will get you to your dreams, to your goals, to your environment that you want. You need to change that mindset from saying, I want to work out, to say, I'm somebody who trains. You don't say, I want to be more disciplined. No, I'm someone who honors my commitments. You don't say, I want to be more successful. I'm someone who executes. Because, see, your identity drives standards. And your standards drive behavior. And that behavior drives results. So I want you to focus on one standard that, if you raised it, would change everything. Take 5 minutes out. Maybe it's your morning routine. Maybe it's your communications. Maybe it's your consistency. Maybe it's your discipline. Maybe it's your boundaries. I've got one boundary right here I got to take care of. The cat that's laying on my desk in the middle of my work. I need to try and discipline it to try to not lay on my work. But it's a cat. It's a fluffy cat. A good little kitty. A good little kitty. But you know what? We have to pick one standard and raise it. Honor it. Protect it. And I guarantee you, once you start doing that, your life will rise with it. Because your standards speak before you do. Because you've withstood more than people know. You've owned more than people seem. Now it's time to win in a way that nobody can deny. Make sure that your people are saying something positive about you. Make sure they're saying something inspirational and intentional about you. Make sure they're saying something worthy of your future. Because tonight you're not just raising your standards, you're raising your life. I believe in you. You need to believe in you. Thank you for joining me.